Good day and good evening, and welcome back to Dailies Hangout stream with me, Chaiji, but you could just call me Kai. So, tonight, as usual, we go through most of the roulettes. We skip over MSQ, Guild Test, and Mentor, and the Frontline. But we do the rest. Also, what? And when we're done, if there's time to spare, we will probably do the normal raid re-clears. Now, if there's time to spare, we'll just quickly go in and clear Savage, right guys? With that said, hey Telema, hey Bomet, hey Tenshi, hey Mizunashi, hey Tremeb, hey Mistel, hey Naomi, hey Arisara, hey Agent Monica, hey Tinali, hey Lana, hey Aradol, hey Hakrai, hey Saras, hey Ilya, hey Nicholas, hey Ansa, hey Brontom, hey Castle James, hey Nox, hey Cat, hey Medusa, hey Lichaw, and hey Day Keyboard, and hey Steven. Hope you're all doing very well. That was a lot of people. We just keep going and going and going and going. Now, the way that it works is that I am at my house on Chaos, and you're welcome to come on over here. I'm on Chaos Louisois there. You're welcome to hang out. And for the dailies, I will usually be somewhere in my garden here. I will walk to a spot and I'll say, if you want to join for insert specific duty, come on over to me. And then you just come over to me. And you just go to me to indicate you want to go. You don't have to, like, police whether it's your turn or not. Like, if you walk over to me, that's an indication you want to go. And then I'll figure out where, like, who I'm bringing so that everyone gets a chance, at least. I do think it's worth mentioning that usually by the time we get to trials and raids, we tend to just do trials, raids, and then ask again for the alliance raids. So that, because by the time we get there, it's often that we have few enough people interested or available that, like, I would have to only replace half the team, and then it becomes a question of, so who are you replacing? It gets a little complicated. And it's just easier to just stick with the same team, and then we'll see what we do for alliance raids. And then we'll finish with the normal raid re-clears. And I assume that we'll be at most like 8 people interested in that. That JP team made it look pretty easy. I watched DN's clear just a little bit ago, like an hour ago, and what was it? They missed one of the comets in that, like, space bit at the end and didn't wipe. Also, hey Liam and Fila, hope you're doing well. It gave like a real not so awesome dot and did a lot of damage, but it didn't wipe. So I guess there is the possibility of ignoring something. Just ignore it, like just dodge one of them and then continue if you'd rather get the mean damage than deal with the mechanic in question. I don't know. I don't think they missed it deliberately. Because on the screen it looked like the person stepped out and then in again. And then just got ticked. Just, nope, you didn't make it. IMO. Now, just switch to a job where I have easier access to my panel. If you would like to join me for Expert Roulette, come on over to me, over here. We had 3 players ready to go. They were like in pouncing stance. Thank you for the super chat, Tenchi. Sent help as an autistic. I had much caffeine. Oh no! Don't get too much caffeine. It makes your day weird. Also, hey Joshua, hope you're doing well. The strongest IMO of all time. And hey, Intersack boy, hope you're doing well. That's unfortunate, but hey, at least there's an alternative, right? Hey Dyson, hope you're doing well. Oh, fantastic. Hey guys, did you know? I've earned it by soloing it yesterday. But can Paladin? I am going to go out on a limb and say Paladin can probably solo Mist Wake Synced. The thing that makes it a little scary is I don't know how tight the timer will be. Hey Steve, hope you're doing well. Cat says yes. It ultimately comes down to how much slower Paladin would be at dealing with the packs compared to Warrior. And I don't know how much of a difference it'll make. And it would surprise me, honestly, it would surprise me if Paladin takes like 50% longer on the packs, just the packs, and even that wouldn't be enough because like half the duty ends up being the bosses anyway. And I imagine that like, to be fair, Warriors AoE damage, I believe, is a little lower than the other tanks. Not by much, but it could compensate. Quadro Guard? What? Paladin, if it lines up right, then Paladin could definitely like recover a little bit of time on some of the bosses. You know, if you time it right and don't do like me here. And waste all of my ranged attacks and then go, oh right, I have to dodge now. Oh, from crosscode. That's a good question. Imagine if you could actually get to play the other classes in crosscode. Wouldn't that be crazy? We have this whole hypothetical MMO universe with all these interesting and cool classes. You can only play one of them, though. Hey Andriel, hope you're doing well. And hey Gazel, hope you're doing well as well. Boom. Time is running out. We're running out of rocks, guys. What are we to do? I'll say Necrophyts. And Dan, hope you're doing well. Boom. Yeah, fun fact on Crosscode, I actually have a video on the channel that not only features Crosscode, but has Crosscode on the thumbnail. Almost no one saw it. Yes, exactly, Dan. The one about accessibility. And yeah, that is the plan, Dyson. Oh, whoops. Overriding the divine might. Something you might not want to do. Thank you, Gyarados. In that case, good luck, Dyson. Paying my taxes while listening to the stream, truly the grown-up experience. Indeed. Indeed. It's not quite the same as the watching morning cartoons with a bowl of cereal, is it? I'm shocked that I got away with that. I knew it would work out perfectly. Yeah, I knew it. Of course. Nailed it. Hey, Rust. Hope you're doing well. Get him! Destroy him! Destroy it, I guess. Take out the noodle horse. The noodliest of horses. It'll poke you with its snoot. The Jabberwocks came out of the painting, question mark, the comic, and became real. Stream idea puns only. Oh, that would be really hard. April Fool's stream, savage reclears, but only pun callouts. I appreciate the vote of confidence that we will have cleared fully by the time that April rolls around. Yeah, but Dyson, I think you're playing at a slightly different pace, and perhaps your team skill level is at a different level and things like that, or at least a different level of investment. So I could understand that. Oh, that's, I should probably hold burst here. It's funny how it jumps like that to take like one small step to the right. Boink. That is interesting, James, because I would argue that when you hit level 100 with Black Mage, the amount of instant actions you get makes it easier than at, say, level 90. Oh, Dyson, you had to catch the start of the stream. The way that it works is that as we go through the stream, at some point I'll be like, if you want to come along with me for insert roulette, come on over to me, and then you just step over to me, and then I'll grab, you know, enough people to do the duty, and I'll generally prioritize people that haven't had a go yet. And then I'll like jot down who like didn't get a turn as a result, so that they maybe get prio on the next one. But you just hang out, do other stuff while you're here, maybe. But yeah, a lot of people want to do a roulette, so I can't really just say, oh yes, you're on the next one, because there's at least 3 other people, I think. There's usually at least 3 other people who also wanted in the last round and missed. And speaking of which, if you would like to join me for level cap dungeons, come on over to me. Is there a team 2 going for the last one? I don't think there is. Right, I have written down some names. Hey Flems, hope you're doing well. It also takes some practice with Black Mage, of course, but I am just saying it's not as scary as it used to be. Hey Kaj, hope you're doing well.
To the memories of better days, I bid farewell.
To the memories of better days.
Have you heard? Princess Fiend is here.
Better days.
Foreign entities detected. Proceeding Riverboat.
Group 2 also got Alexandria. There you go. Oops, all Alexandria. Tenji says, what's with all the bell ringers and instances lately? The newest extreme drops weapons that sound like that when you
If
unsheath
I
them.
smile, it is because you all smile for me.
Ancient Monica says, imagine for April Fool's stream you do Mentor Roulette live, but actually you just queue for guild tests. I have a feeling that while that might be funny, it will probably get old really fast. Congrats, Tenchi. Corporate wants to know the difference between these two roulettes. Well, the good news is that depending on when you're queuing, sometimes there is a difference. Sometimes. Bap.
Initiating security protocol. Foreign entities remaining. Initiating level 3 security protocol.
I think this line works. Yeah, somewhat. And then we have the party thing, I believe. Yeah. Yeah. An interesting thing is that I usually do some really weird stream on April Fools, and so far, each time I've done that, they have become like a new staple stream. Last year's April Fools was the first Mentor Roulette Live. The year before that was the first Walk and Talk, I believe. Hey Rocco, hope you're doing well.
And I will protect you.
And that is true, you just need to do the daily expert 5 days a week. Then you will get your weekly tomes. But I'm also doing it for other tomes and also just for the entertainment value. Like genuinely, I mainly do the roulettes for the fun of it. If I only did it for getting my weekly tomes, then I would almost certainly just do something like hunt trains instead. It would be faster. Was the coffee cookie staple stream? Well, the key there, Gazel, is that the walk and talk stream was one of my most popular streams to date, and the same for the Mentor Roulette Live. My coffee cookie recipe video is one of my least popular videos to date. in terms of views. As far as I know, those that have actually seen it say it's amazing. So there's actually a whole bunch of things where I've done a video on something where those that actually saw it are like, oh yeah, it'd be sweet if there was more of this. And we're like, yeah, but not very many saw it. So the moment that the algorithm just drops it, because like, well, this isn't working, then it's gone. Like, essentially gone. And the only way you'll find it is if you like really dig deep, or if I tell you that it exists. And at that point, it's better that I just make something that is generally popular enough that people actually can find it.
Security breach confirmed. Initiating level 5 security protocol.
They changed that like a month or more ago, Rocco. It's a little strange. It just came randomly. But yeah, level cap is definitely one of the roulettes that is first to go if I'm like, I don't have that much time. What is that, theory vibes? Nay, Faith, hope you're doing well. Same to you, vibes. And Rocco. The trick there, Rocco, is if you're fighting an AoE battle, move your target around to focus whatever has the most HP, which both works because if you're because your best AoE attacks do like much more damage to the main target, so by doing that you're like evening out the HP more. But on top of that, the one that has the most HP is the least likely to die during your cast. Win-win.
Detected. Initiating Caetsu protocol.
Vibe says there's a very small chance that you can get Doom from Mortal Ray in Temple of Khan instead of having to do the level 20 carnival. You say small chance. I want you to take note, Vibes, that if you're doing a duty synced as Blue Mage, the chance is 100% if it's a spell from a duty. It's either 0 or 100% if you're doing it synced. So it would it would require a player with Blue Mage but not Doom to just go and try. But I will say that the spell that the Terra Tower is using is called Mortal Ray, distinctly not Doom, which I think might matter in this case. There's also an AoE Doom, which might also matter. Oh, oops.
Initiating level 9.
Welcome back, James.
Activate permanence. Engaging priorities.
How come again did you have 2 greetings? Oh, sorry. I sometimes I forget whether I caught someone. Is it high, probably? And yeah, as Necropit says, the reason why a test like this would be difficult, quote-unquote, to do, entirely comes down to I'm not going to level a character to 50, unlock Blue Mage, like do all the MSQ necessary to unlock access to it, do it, and just for that. Like that's a little bit much.
Purging my armaments. Acquiring target.
Oh, then you could test it, Vibes. All it would take is you might have to be a little careful, but it can be done solo. If you have other spells, of course. You don't even need a small group. I'm relatively sure if you have some of the basic Blue Mage spells, you can just solo it synced.
Attempting annihilation via high-powered energy discharge. Energy accumulation complete. Initiating final attack protocol.
More bosses need to realize that they just need to use telegraphs on everything. Imagine if it were that easy. Just do more damage, boss. Come on, you can do it. We believe in you. Come on, Eliminator. That's your name, isn't it? Why are you not eliminating me? I don't feel very eliminated. Famous last words.
Attempting frontal annihilation. Annihilation. Annihilation.
Hey. Oh, right, limit break. Mistral says I placed my thunders wrong on my hotbars and I've been doing AoE on single target and AoE. Didn't realize for the longest time. Oh. Oh no. Oops. It is pretty funny in regards to soloing duties with Blue Mage. There's like the two clans. There's the healer mimicry, because all that damage you're taking, Palm Cure's basically a requirement. And then on the other side, you have clan tank mimicry, because you can just make do with White Wind, and by having the tank stats, you don't take nearly as much damage. You still take a lot of damage, but it's suddenly more manageable. It of course depends. Some duties, one is particularly advantageous, but it's pretty funny how there's like 2 ways, and both are like popular in their own way. Hey, Asymmetricon, hope you're doing well. Why do the bosses not simply start with an instant kill and rage? Are they stupid? That would be the problem if one day they had a collab with Undertale. New boss fight, Sans, he just opens with a hot and rage cast. It would make sense. What? I've always wondered why the other monsters never start with their best move. Hey, Kita-san. Hope you're doing well. It starts with Hard and Rage GG. Yeah. Maybe they could do it so that on pull he does that, and then like you respawn and he's like, oh yeah. And then does something different. Or you of course, or something like you start with an LB3. Right. Right, Party 2 is also back. And if you would like to join me for high-level dungeons, come on over to me. Boop, 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 boop. That's what you call. That's what you guys call a raid buff aligned opener, right? Sure, I can just stay Black Mage. Let's see what happens. Double 80 dungeon, maybe? No, it's Wanderer's Palace, guys! Woohoo! Give it up for Wanderer's Palace! Hey! Ding ding! EQ me! Hope you're doing well. The really, really dank Black Mage level 50 rotation. Woo! Woo! A light god, hope you're doing well. Nap time. Well, enjoy your nap then, Nox. Kaboom! Kabroom! Pew, pew. And pew, pew. And pew, pew. And no. One second, guys. Sometimes I see people that complain that you can't say anything on YouTube or you will get your account will get banned. I see something similar in Final Fantasy XIV, and they're like, you can't say anything and you'll get in trouble. Meanwhile, I see some people that don't realize that there are limits to what you actually can say in the world, and yes, some of those things are pretty offensive stuff that you can't say, as it turns out. Come on, man. Exactly, Mistel. Imagine for a second that someone would wear a color because they like the color. Isn't that insane? Why? Why would you possibly do that? Well, that's easily solved, Nox. Go, guys. Quick say stuff. Wait, it's gone now. Never mind. Also that, Steve. Also that. Hey Grasmo, hope you're doing well. If you're doing it in Party Finder, then the harsh reality is that people generally congregate on light. So it is you will find parties faster on light. And I know me saying that just like perpetuates the problem, but it's just the way of it. Like you're going to have a better time finding groups on light. But if you're on a pre-made, like you have a static, then it doesn't matter. I was AFK. Hope you're doing well. Hands rated E. Exactly, Brasmo. The funny thing is that there's like almost like a meme that when there is like when you see a group in Party Finder on light, and then they group together, and it turns out every single one of them are Wanderers, and they are all from Chaos. It happens. Wait, is... Okay, now I get it. Now I get it. Because you can glam all of the gear that is a specific slot now, Dyson has been using a Paladin Ultimate Shield for White Mage. Good luck, Talamar. And hey, Yannick. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. Nice, K. It's a good mouse, more importantly. Nice off, and friends, hope you're doing well. One of these days, Paladins can use way more magic at 50. Way more than nothing. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? Ah, Party 2 is starting last boss. They had a longer duty. We're still working through the daily roulettes. Those just coming in. There's a few that I'm skipping over because they get a little boring, or for other reasons. But next up will be leveling roulette. We're just waiting for light party for party 2 because when I already have a party and there's so many that wanted to go that there could easily be a second party, it's often that there's a party 2. And if they then miss out on the chance to come for the next duty because they joined for party 2, then, I mean, they're not going to join party 2 next time, so of course I'm going to wait. That's no fun. In fact, I think I'll just be right back while we wait for party 2. So, in the meantime, sanity restored. Alright, I'm back. What do y'all think the Watcher watches when Guy goes BRB? That's a good question. Watches you guys. Make sure you're all wonderful people. Dun dun dun. Watches over you. Like a manatee-shaped guardian angel. The Watcher just cleared M12 first try. Did Party 2 come out? Yes. Right. In that case, let me just try something, because it does feel like the party is shaping around me. If you'd like to come along for leveling roulette, come on over to me. Whoa. Whoa. What's my favorite job? I very much like Black Mage. But I play a bunch of jobs. I didn't necessarily have a distinct, specific favorite. I think I have favorites in each role, you could say. Hey Ishimura, hope you're doing well. Well, I mean, Black Mage actually moves a lot now. What's your favorite class?
All seems in order with the lens. And I trust you can
Goldsmith.
hear me. Those things are pure malcontent. The residue of lives unfulfilled.
Are crafters classes? Yes. They're not jobs. Because that requires a job stone. Weird, right? I'll say Caetsu. Hope you're doing well. The crafters are all unemployed. Discord to do old content with? Zav might know something. But it also kind of depends on what region you're in. I don't really know that much myself. Because, you know, I might mainly hang out in my own community Discord server. Where you're also very welcome. And if I want to do old content synced, it's pretty common that all I have to do is ask. So I like, by design, I have a little bit of a hard time knowing. But I know that Zav hangs out in certain communities that specialize in doing old content, either synced or even minimum item level. And sometimes in even crazier ways. And Zav is in the community Discord, which there should be a link in the description. There's also on the channel page. Sometimes Aradil also posts a link every now and then, but it is here and there. And you're very welcome to hang out there as well. And you're also very welcome to ask if anyone wants to come along for some old content. I just can't guarantee that there will be as much interest as you may hope. The trick, Ishimura, is mainly that when you do it not minimum item level, they will be more challenging and demand more of you. Like they will, things that you can just survive no problem or ignore or skip, synced, you can't on minimum item level. Like I have a video that is like 2-minute guides for every single Realm Reborn extreme, but the thing is, if you were doing it, if you're doing it synced, the guide would work. If you do it minimum item level, there are a lot of things that I skip over and don't even explain that are really important. And a lot of people do these things just because they like to be challenged. Like they enjoy challenging themselves in these ways. Like I've done a lot of old content with too few players. Like just yesterday, I was doing the newest dungeon alone. And then I did the 2 dungeons that got reworked in the patch.
The ether
synced alone as well, just because it would be funny. So that's the main reason. And there's also the key that it's not one thing is knowing how, like, if all it takes is knowing how the fight goes, then why are we playing at all, right? We already saw people do it world first. That's all we needed, right? You know? Okay, next. Hope you're doing well. Ow. You're very welcome to welcome people along, Nix. It's just that due to some stream settings, you cannot send a link in the live chat. Which is why I'm like, go to the Discord server or explain how they can find it, because you cannot send a link. You can't do it the easiest way. And if you're thinking now, why not? The simple explanation there is there's a lot of bots that really like to send links. So they automatically get blocked just by not allowing links in the first place. So unfortunately they ruined the fun for everyone else. And then there's also a fair point that a fight like Titan Extreme was meaner originally. Because, for instance, if you fell off the arena on any version of Titan originally, then you were just out. Like, your corpse would just be there, like down on the floor, and you wouldn't be able to get rest. But then again, if enough people get knocked off the arena now, you would wipe anyway, because sure, you just rest them again. Yeah, but if both tanks and a few DPS are dead, then Titan just goes on a rampage and kills you off anyways. So it's not as simple, but it is also the same thing, and I've also said this myself, Ishimura, that if you're going to do old extremes synced under the impression that you're gonna get the original experience, the original true experience of that duty, no, you're not. Like, that much we can agree on. It's not the same. You're not getting that experience, but you're getting a challenge. Like, you're still getting a duty. So as long as you're not expecting the original experience, then you're not necessarily going to get disappointed. I mentioned this in the Discord server earlier, but I watched the Mistec guide for Copperbell Mines normal, you know, the low-level dungeon. They suggested Tank LB for the slime boss, which, by the way, has been reworked, but they recommended using Tank LB because the damage might be a little high. And I'm sitting there like, you what, mate? But I got into the game in Stormblood. So even the leveling dungeons, why are you doing them synced? There's no point. You're not getting the original experience, right? But if you're not expecting the original experience and you're just expecting to, you know, have an interesting experience, that's good enough. And yeah, if you really wanted to have a closer to original experience, close. Are we back? Apparently my memes were so dank that YouTube had trouble. And that's fair. I'm also, of course, memeing a little bit when I'm saying, why are you even bothering to do dungeons synced? Because obviously there's the XP on the line, but the point is still that there's no content. Like, the moment that it is a single expansion old, sometimes even just a single patch old, you are already in that universe where it's like, they're not gonna have the original experience. But you can still choose to have a challenging experience. But as long as you're not going in expecting it to be the original experience, then you're not, like, losing out. But there's also the detail that I imagine probably also plays in, that if you do content in a game like Final Fantasy XIV for the rewards attached to it, then doing something like an old extreme at all on anything except unsynced is a bit waste of time, right? The only rewards that you're getting is the mount, like that's the or glam, and all of those things you can get unsynced, so why bother? Thank you, Nex.
Many faces have I worn, but this is my favorite by far. You will persist in this folly no longer.
Yeah, the thing with the original experience stuff was something that I recall was a lot more up in conversation around the WoW Exodus back shortly before Endwalker. The reason being that there was a bunch of streamers that got into the game who was like, no, I want to do all these extremes at level 50, synced of course, because I want the original experience of these hard duties, and it's like, I get where you're going. But that's not that's not possible. It's just not possible. But the difference again being between taking a getting a challenge and expecting a specific challenge. Well, in that case, Vibes, there's your answer. That is indeed how we test things. So good on you for testing your hypothesis.
What a boorish audience you are!
The Great Cataclysm, faithfully recreated. Not to be confused with the bad Cataclysm. No one wants that. Hey, Liv. Hope you're doing well. Let the curtains rise for the main attraction. Does WoW preserves those quote-unquote original experiences? Well, no. The closest you get to getting to re-experience old content in WoW once it cycles out in like their quote-unquote original form is generally that there's time walking every so often, which I have talked about before. It's generally not designed to deliver you the original experience. It's more like a spectacle. Well, not really, but because that game doesn't offer this, not really, you might expect that a game that uses it as a main feature would, right? But I specifically recall that was something that came up a lot. Was they were like, no, I want to do all the extremes as they become available to me, and I want to do them properly. And that, of course, the reason why that became a relevant conversation is, of course, that led to a lot of players that came in with those streamers that were presumably even less informed, wanting that experience too, which, fair enough, by the way, understandable. Then being told, that's not quite what you're getting. And if you know both games, you can kind of quickly meet common ground by knowing comparisons. Like, for instance, someone might be like, oh, I want to do the A Realm Reborn extremes in their original intended challenge. And it's like, okay, yeah, well, you know, like, vanilla WoW dungeons? Yeah? Well, imagine that you're doing those, but in Wrath of the Lich King. Oh. Yeah. Mentoret must have been interesting in the Exodus times. Oh, you know, that's a good point. I wonder if the sheer amount of hatred some mentors have for landing in like extremes with like underprepared players originates from that. Exactly, Andriel. And you will probably agree that if you... Well, actually, have you done vanilla WoW dungeons in vanilla? Or in WoW Classic, for that matter? Because without that, it might be difficult to have a comparison. No. Oh. Yeah, let's just say that in Wrath, they made the enmity simplification, rather it's called threat in that game. They made tanking, like holding aggro, trivial in Wrath of the Lich King. Just like Shadowbringers did. And let's just say that bosses in those older dungeons became a lot easier. Just because characters had more options. But that would be the common ground to meet on is, well, you're basically doing the equivalent of choosing to run, I don't, like, if you're going to do, like, a Savage Raid or something from Heavensward, I mean, you can do it synced. It'll still be a challenge if you're doing it synced, but it is more comparable to running, like, an old raid at the appropriate level, but 2 or 3 expansions late. Yeah, exactly, Lana. Imagine you're level 70. And if you do Sastasha, you're not synced down to 16, but instead Sastasha's raised to level 70. That is kind of how time walking works. Although it gets even weirder because the syncing is kind of wonky. So sometimes some characters are just completely busted. Like the scaling is weird. And let's be real, the bosses in Sastasha are going to get absolutely dumpstered by level 70 toolkits. Caetsu says I'm very new. What exactly did tanking used to be like? Before Shadowbringers, Caetsu, tanks had... I'm just going to highlight a few things because there's a lot. Tanks had 2 stances instead of just 1. So for instance, Warrior had... Actually, Paladin is an easy example. Paladin had Shield Oath, now known as Iron Will, and Sword Oath, also known as Oath Mastery. In Stormblood, Shield Oath did the following. I might get the percentages wrong, but it's roughly that. You take 20% less damage. You do 20% less damage. Blocking generates Oath Gauge, and using Holy Spirit generates Oath Gauge. That's like a side thing, but that's how Shield Oath Paladins generated Oath, which is what you use for Sheltron. Additionally, it tripled your enmity generation. Take note that today, Iron Will multiplies your enmity generation tenfold. Not 3, 10, and Iron Will does not reduce your damage done. There is the weird thing that I've mentioned in videos before, that tanks just like point for point do 20% less damage per potency than other roles. But I've been told that there is a possibility that this was also a thing in Stormblood, and tanks just have weird scaling. But whether or not that is true, it doesn't change the fact that Shield Oath effectively made it so that you did, 2.4 times more enmity per potency, because it nerfed your damage while tripling your actual enmity generation. Meanwhile, they also had a few select actions to help them hold aggro. Not Provoke, because Provoke didn't generate much extra enmity. It just maxed it out +1. Shadowbringers, I believe, was when they made it generate a ton. We continue. They had an action called Flash. That was just AoE enmity that blinded enemies. It didn't do any damage. Paladin actually, for all of A Realm Reborn and Heavensward, didn't have an AoE attack. Aside from Circle of Scorn. Fun, right? So he just used Flash to AoE enmity. And it was actually good for holding aggro while on AoE and while pulling. And then on top of that, you had an enmity combo. That is something all tanks used to have, was removed with Shadowbringers because they don't need it. And Paladin's enmity combo was Fast Blade, Savage Blade, and Rage of Halone. Which you may know turns into Royal Authority now. Didn't back then. Warrior, for comparison? Oh no, actually, I haven't finished yet. Sword Oath, which was Paladin's so-called damage stance. All 3 tanks had damage stances. Sword Oath, like, you just completely cleaned the slate. It did none of the things Shield Oath did. Instead, it made it so that your auto attacks hit like twice as hard. Like, it just doubled the damage of your auto attacks. It didn't quite describe it like that, but it basically what it did was it basically doubled your auto attack damage, which it's nothing to sneeze at. Like, a lot of physical jobs do like near 10% of their DPS with auto attacks nowadays. Probably more back then. So you just hammered enemies. And then Sword Oath also, well, it did this. It made it so that your auto attacks generated Oath. But that was it. That was all Sword Oath did. It didn't give you any defensive protection. It didn't make you generate any enmity. It didn't do any of that. It just made it so that you did more damage. And the way that worked was that every job that wasn't a tank had, in some form or another, at least by Stormblood, enmity management tools. For instance, all DPS jobs, roughly, had an ability called, I think it was called Diversion or something like that, which made you generate half as much enmity for 20 seconds. Very convenient for a burst, right? Although bursts weren't exactly 20 seconds back then, but hey, it helps. Lucid Dreaming, which some of you may know, used to have an additional line that said that it also just cuts your enmity in half. I'm not 100% sure. Quelling Strikes? I believe Quelling Strikes was before Stormblood, but yes, that was a cross-class action. It was turned into the other one. I don't remember if it's called Diversion or something else. But yeah, before roll actions, Quelling Strikes was an action that you could grab from a specific class that basically did the same thing. And Lucid Dreaming basically just cut your enmity in half, just like that. Dragoon's Backflip also did that, just instantly cut your enmity in half, like just deleted half of the enmity you had. So the way that it worked was that the tanks, if you were like if you were in a bad group or like in a more casual group, you just use your tank stance. If you were in a more like in a savage group, it was much more likely you would use your damage stance, and then you would just have everyone else use their tools to stay under you in enmity. And then there was also the trick known as I think it was called provoke juggling, which at least in Stormblood it was a thing. The way that it worked is that, you know, provoke didn't generate very much enmity, but it did catch you up to whoever was at the top. So what you could do is, if you don't need to tank switch, the off tank could provoke. Then the main tank used Shirk to pass 25% of their enmity to the off tank, which essentially is, you know, 25% of the off tank's enmity as well. So now they're 25% ahead. Then the main tank taunts back, so now they're 25% higher than they were before. And then the off tank uses Shirk to put an additional, like, a multiplied 25%. It's like close to like 32 or 33%. So like suddenly the main tank is like, oh, like 56% enmity higher than before. So like you make this snowballing effect, which you could also use to like build more lead if you needed it. So like like enmity management was a core thing back then. And it was sometimes hard to hold aggro. If you've ever heard the stories of tanks or healers like losing their mind over, no, don't use regen on the tank while they're pulling, it's because in Stormblood you do that and you die. Because the regen will just grab aggro to the healer while the tank is still pulling. It doesn't do that anymore. Not really. The only enmity regen generates is buff enmity, and it's basically nothing. It's so little that the only reason that an enemy goes to the healer in that scenario is because the tank missed. And yeah, that is true. The healing enmity was still a thing in Shadowbringers from regen. The problem is that in Shadowbringers, tanks already generated so much enmity with one basic AoE attack that regen was not going to steal aggro. Again, ultimately you were only going to get aggro if the tank missed. But it cuts so deep that people are like having a hard time letting it go, you could say. And congratulations, Tenji! That was not me, mister, thankfully. But I have heard those kind of stories. Anyway, maybe we should get back to playing the game. We just do this. And if you would like to join me for Trials Roulette, come on over to me, over here. I have to make sure that I count it right. Math time! Ding, 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 ding. We're 10 people here. You think we'll do it like this? Also, I did see someone mention in the chat. Let me see if I can catch them. Sniper player. Hope you're doing well. And I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. And your tangents is like the gold standard of this channel. Don't you worry about it. Ah, yes, Dailies Hangout stream. Actually, tea time. Dailies Hangout stream looks inside. Tank tangent. Cat says, Guide, you talking about the past sounds like talking about a mystical unicorn when it's just a horse with a horn. I mean, I don't quite understand what you mean by that, but I think I kind of get what you mean. Ah, yeah, back in the old days. Ah, you should have been there. Unfortunately, you missed out. Missed out on what? Ah, it was amazing. It sucked. They did not change its silver portal. In fact, the most recent enmity change was like early Dawntrail, where they made it easier to hold aggro. When they added a 2x multiplier to filler AoE combos.
I will crush you. Fight if you refuse to die. I will strip you of the illusion of will. Then you will suffer. Yes, that will be your punishment.
The one change that I would say that there probably is since 7.4 is white mages might be stealing your aggro a bit better. Because, I mean, Aflato's Misery got another damage buff, and they open the duty with access to it straight out the gate. And, well, let's just say that Aflato's Misery does enough damage to beat that, multiplier boosted filler combo. On one enemy, at least. Bye! As a Dinky, hope you're doing well. And for Poop, hope you're doing well as well. Boink. I'm glad to hear that, Vibes. Nice.
The light surges within me. Such bliss.
Such bliss.
I see now.
Oh no, he's hot!
Passion of my ascension. Very well. I shall embrace this trial.
Feel my bread. What? Pew. And pew. And The reckoning comes! Wink. Ow! Get him! Destroy him! Then the paladin doofully walks over because no more ranged attacks. And how many memes does Aradel have to come up with for the Discord invite? Aradel is just that awesome. Lawrence, annihilate! Boink. Know your place. Ow. Oi. A DPS check attack is always so underwhelming, which it did 2 hits to match the visual. Well, here's an interesting thing, Caetsu. The ad in the middle of the room that does the blue beam, if it manages to finish its cast, it consumes the ad that you might have been attacking, and it will do a pretty hefty amount of AoE damage and put a slashing resistance down debuff on everyone, and that stacks. And you may be wondering what kind of damage that ultimate attack does. And you may be wondering whether that damage is increased by the gauge, how filled the gauge is. Which is to say, the reason why it doesn't hurt that much is if you did it right. Or if you were prepared. It's also, you know, a normal duty, so a lot of damage is relative. Right, we're going right into normal raids right now, and then we will figure out what we do for alliance raids. My first run of the first trial in Endwalker also timed out. And I was a 30-minute replacement, and I was there on day 1. Eyes of the Creator. Refurbisher? I think it's Refurbisher. Are you ready for Refurbisher? Well, the good news, guys, is that the community knows exactly how to do Refurbisher. I've reiterated how to do it so many times, right, guys? Everyone remembers how to do Refurbisher, right? Fun fact, that swipe there, that Kaltstral, is a 2-player tank buster. And it hits exactly the main target and whoever's closest. I have no memory of this place. Ow! Open the hatch! Gassel, I can take the other stuff of your main tank. I'll just go around and do the other stuff. Ding ding! No, my combo ran out right as the fight started. The scam. Remember, you may want to face the boss away from people. And people may want to move away from the front. Ah, back when normal raids were not trivial. How I did it incorrectly? What do you mean? Oh, whoops. I got so confused and so distracted that I did it wrong. Well, my bad. I didn't actually mean to do that. I'm just stupid. I got so surprised that there was only one ad, even though that's how that works. Then I was like, oh, I'll just go over here. And I didn't have to do anything. I'm just throwing for content. The most amazing excuse. No, I meant to do that. I was just memeing, guys. Totally. Now, the funny thing is, I can't actually see if it changed anything. Like, normally he gets stronger as he absorbs stuff, but it's like, whoop, basically zero change. If you get him fast enough, we can kill him here. I'll move him if I'm getting a little scared. Whoops, sorry. Nailed it! Is one damage up or something? Yeah, that does seem to be the case. Yeah, sorry about that. I genuinely didn't mean to do that. I was just so absent-mindedly just doing the mechanic, and I was like, oh, whoops. I basically flipped it in my mind because I wasn't paying attention. Hey Tron, hope you're doing well. I am on Saturday. That's the keys of, I know how to do it. Everyone knew in the party knew how to do it, which means that they all knew that I was doing it wrong. I knew exactly what to do so well that I did it perfectly opposite to what was correct. It says, I don't know, last time I saw someone tanking it was facing it south, so actually I don't really know what I was supposed to do. Yeah, well, usually with bosses, you know, you turn them away from the party. Like, most of the time, I see the tank tanking the boss on Refurbish or tank them facing northwest or something like that. Not for any reason in particular. It's just, he does like line AoEs in front of him every so often. So just going away from where the party is good. And because the first lava thing is in the northeast, you stand in the northwest, you're good. If you do that, you would also disincentivize non-tanks from being where that power generator is. Which means that there's a better chance that your co-tank is the one doing that, if it needs to happen at all. Like basically by bogarting the power generator and threatening DPS and healers with getting smacked. But it doesn't really matter. The point where it kinda matters is when he does the mega cone, where it's only safe behind him. If you were in the quote-unquote appropriate spot for that, then no one else would have to move. Under the perfect conditions, which you know is what always happens in normal content, right guys? Now on that note, how many wants to come along for Alliance Raid Roulette? I'm wondering if we should make 2 parties. Or 2 smaller parties. It's nice to see bosses that do half-room cleaves without warping to the middle again. You know, off the back of Refurbisher Zero, that sounds really funny. I'm assuming you mean something else, but it would be really funny if you meant Refurbisher Zero. Back in the day, we solved that by just stapling the boss to the center of the arena so they don't go anywhere. Masterful plan. Also, thank you for the suggestion, Kate. It was the involuntary tea time. It might be. Yeah, it looks like 2 groups. How many are we? I'm counting 10, so it needs to be 2 5-man groups. Refurbisher Zero walked, so Howling Blade Phase 2 could run. We might be 11, actually, so 6 and 5. Is that right? Yeah, we are indeed 11, assuming Rust also wants to go. Anyone want to be the leader of Group 2? Guzzle has it. And we do need to be a 6 and a 5. The hope is that we can get everyone in the same party. Or in the same alliance. The funniest bit about that, Mr. Liz, I believe the first time we landed on Refurbisher 0 on stream like this, with a full pre-made, we landed in the boss room, and I asked if people wanted me to explain the fight. And everyone said, yes, please. And then we spent like a good few minutes explaining how Refurbisher 0 works. For the... and then we got it right, of course. And that's not common, is it? Is Party 2 ready to go? By the way, make sure... Like, just quick open your Duty Finder menu and see that it says that you have the appropriate item level to queue. Because if you don't, it'll tell me I can't. I'll queue when it says 8:05 in Eorzea time. Caetsu says, I know nothing of extreme savage culture, but I'm impressed tanks have been taking attacks just to greed a tiny bit more. Feel like undue pressure for healers. The reason why that is because tanks are so tanky and so good at taking damage that most of the time, it's not the healers that get pressure from the tanks doing that. It's the tanks. They're like, I can take one Vuln stack, and most of the healing will still be their own. And usually if it starts actually costing the healers start complaining. And when the healers start complaining, that's when the tanks start to tone it down a tad. Because, you know, the alternative is the healers just going, okay, well, that's your problem then. And then the tank dies, and then now we have a whole argument on our hands. But it really comes down to... if the tanks can take it and it doesn't really produce, as you said, undue pressure for the healers, then they'll do it. But let's just say that there is a reason. There is a reason why mechanics that one-shot, as in one-shot, except with an invuln, that they sometimes give a damage down. Anyway. Because the devs are like, well, what if the tanks invuln this? They won't. And yeah, the problem is more likely if a DPS greeds a little too hard. That's usually where the problems arrive more. And yeah, as was mentioned, Samurai has a cooldown that means they get resources by being hit. So Samurai, if they spot a mechanic that doesn't kill them and doesn't punish them, they might just take it. For the free 10 gauge, it's worth like 100 potency. But the funny thing is, if that Samurai taking that hit costs something in the ballpark of 1 Aetherflow stack from a Scholar to restore, then nearly all of the value is just dropped on the floor, just like that. Hey, we land in the same duty! Because 1 Aetherflow stack is worth 100 potency. And 100... Scholar potency is actually 130 potency when you account for Maim and Mend. And 100 Samurai potency is like 113. Maybe like 120 if they have dance partner or something. But point is, those 100 potency of energy drain may have been more valuable for the scholar. Like if we're going to be really pedantic. So the greed has to be done smartly. Always AR rates. Well, it is the one that most people have. I have said in videos more than once that the big problem, if I recall correctly, the requirement for Alliance Raid Roulette now is that you are the appropriate item level to queue for the duties that you're in the level range for. Like if you're level 60, you need to have equipped gear such that you would be able to queue for the first Heavensward Alliance Raid. However, I don't think you need to have it unlocked. And because you don't need to have it unlocked, it means that some, probably many, of the players queuing have the appropriate gear, but they would never land in the appropriate duty. But everyone has Crystal Tower. Like, I'm really curious what would happen. Since I once got called a bot for running in place like that. Really? You're bugged or what? No, there was a disconnect. They were messing around with it a little bit super late in Endwalker to try and like figure out what worked, but it turned out that they didn't quite have the they didn't quite go to the lengths of demanding that you have the specific duty unlocked. And I said in my videos on the topic that that would probably work a lot better if they did. Just make it that not only do you need to have the appropriate gear, but you also need to have it unlocked. Which would make Alliance Raid Roulette a lot more exclusive, because a lot of people just don't bother with unlocking all of the things. Which is fair, but it's just it's you know it's the nuclear solution, you could say. Like, there's no need to be that aggressive about it, but it would probably solve it. Another suggestion that I came with is put Crystal Tower in its own roulette. Light God says add Crystal Tower to MSQ roulette. That is a classic one. Let me tell you this, Light God. Have you ever seen Solemn Trinity in Guildhast roulette? We actually have evidence for why you shouldn't put Crystal Tower in MSQ roulette. And you should put it in a separate one of its own. Solemn Trinity is an 8-man guildhast. It's the only 8-man guildhast. The reason why you basically never see it is if you queue for guildhast roulette, the roulette system will have found 4 players before it will find 8. And what will it do then? It'll make the party and send you on your way. So why would it put you in an 8-man duty? It already found 4 before it had an opportunity to gather 8. Good luck, Zaf! Have you ever seen Guildhast roulette? Fair. And could you imagine what would happen to Crystal Tower if we put this 24-man duty in the same pack as a 4-man duty? You're basically banishing Crystal Tower to the void. The only way it would ever pop is if you have at least 21 players individually choosing to queue for it. Because then you could have 3 players, you know, queuing MSQ roulette and just getting planted there. And that would work. Uh-oh. I didn't notice in time. Thank you. That was fast. Oh, also that, Andreal, it might. But see, that's actually the problem again, is that it would need to gather, like, a huge amount of mentors. Because there would be, you know, it would eventually reach a point where enough mentors would be collected, right? But there's a reason why most of the time when I land in Alliance Raid roulettes, or in Alliance Raids, in Mentor Roulette, I'm a replacement. Anyway, that is to say, my preferred solution to this whole Crystal Tower thing is just put Crystal Tower in a new roulette. Just put it in a new one. Some people have said, well, if you do that, you could put Prio on Crystal Tower. It could. Again, the problem is, how long should it wait with popping your MSQ roulette before it goes, well, there wasn't 24. Which is why I just suggest that they should make a new one. And what I'm curious about is if they removed Crystal Tower from Alliance Raid Roulette as a result of doing this, what would be the most common Alliance Raid? I would guess that it would be Void Ark. But it's perfectly possible that it isn't. How's it, Paul Mac? Hope you're doing well. And the reason why I'm wondering what would change is because due to everyone having Crystal Tower, it's kind of the catch-all when it can't collect like a party with something else. And then also, you know, it's random. So it might collect, like in this group of 22 players apparently, it is possible all 22 have Void Ark and it just, you know, collected us up, threw like rolled the die and went World of Darkness. Shrug. Like that's a possibility. But if World of Darkness and the Crystal Tower series as a whole was removed from options, then I wonder what would happen. How many people would queue for Crystal Tower if they had a choice though? If the reward is appropriate, people would queue for it for the daily. My counter question, Steve, how many people would queue for MSQ roulette? That's right, enough people. Because the reward is appropriate. Exactly. 500 poetics does something to a man, or a woman, or anything else. To a lizard, yeah. 500 predicts does something to a lizard. Oh boy. I'm coming in from Narnia with a stack marker. Then have to up the rewards? I mean, Steve, I don't know what you mean by that. I'm saying they would add a new roulette that doesn't exist. Right? Up the rewards from nothing? Are you assuming that whatever rewards they would make would definitely be too low? Well, that it is an important detail that if they made such a roulette, they would need to make sure that reward was appropriate, because if they split Crystal Tower from the other Alliance raids, and then the reward isn't good, then you might have a huge problem. Because if no one is queuing for Alliance raid, or rather Crystal Tower roulette, because the reward isn't good, then all the sprouts, all the first-timers who actually need it to progress would just be stuck. Like, yeah, give it up for day 3 of queuing for Crystal Tower. And I will say, OCE might have a problem with such a roulette, based on what I've heard. Dynamis would as well. Yeah, but the difference is that Dynamis would be able to actually do something about it. Oops. While Materia is just stuck. Like, they wouldn't be able to come back or to do anything about it. Bruh. Ow. Can knockback immune. Yeah, but and in that specific instance, I was aiming to get knocked into the platform, and when I got knocked down initially, it was because I didn't see that the person who was actually getting sucked in was behind me. And then when I came back, I didn't expect the boss to be shockwaving as I came down. So I was just hoping that I missed the snapshot. But that like, I will say the materia angle is a much better argument for why we just have to deal with the fact that Crystal Tower is in the Alliance raid roulette, and that's just how it has to be. Because Alliance raids is already like a big enough problem on materia. I don't know the details. But when the newest step in the Dawntrail relic questline said, yeah, one of the things you need to do is get points that you specifically and exclusively get from doing Alliance raid roulette. A lot of materia players were like, oh no, and like they were like mega prioritized. I forgot to get in the belly. I'm just completely distracted talking about other stuff. Okay, maybe it's actually for the best. They call me Distracto. Because I'm forgetting all of my objectives just talking about other stuff. I'm very sorry, guys. I'll have to be better. Recently, I've been so used to... to just not being Alliance B and just choosing to not go in the belly just to see if people figure it out. That when I'm finally B, I'm like, oh, whoops. It seems like I'm also Alliance A now. That's my punishment. And to be fair, Alliance A specifically is also missing a lot of players, so they might need the assistance. What's the word for belly or chest or something like that in Japanese? I think Gazel might know. Norm. Yorm. I also have in the past done my due diligence of trying to convince everyone to go in the belly. But I've also observed, both from others' experience and seen real time, that the ads are being ignored so heavily that sometimes, like as everyone is focusing on the belly, there's just like 2 plant monsters just going yoink, 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 just murdering every healer and then going on a rampage through the DPS. So, like, if I'm not on Alliance B, I'm usually helping with the ads. And that is true in JP. B is usually the main tank. Is how they've kind of agreed on doing it. Is it just decided that A goes in the belly and there's no particular reason? Like that's what I'm wondering, was like, why is it A that goes in the belly and not C, for instance? So many storms. Will people do the markers? I wonder. Some did. Okay. Blam! Answer says, I just go for the one that's closest. Is there a reason that the markers are there? the markers are there to try and evenly spread out the party. Consider the following answer. Because of the position of the boss, everyone was closest to B. If everyone did what you did, what would happen? Everyone would murder the B marker one. Like that. And then the A and C would be untouched. And then you wipe. And yes, really, you wipe. You don't need everyone to do it, but let's just say that I have been in situations where we ended up with like 2 or 3 people in a similar situation in one of the Stormblood Alliance raids, and that was just, oh, and then we lost. Because people didn't spread out. And then on the retry, we had markers down. Hey Noodles, hope you're doing well. Most of the time, answer, it kind of solves itself. Like, a lot of the time, there's no markers, but if there are markers down, I try to just do what the marker says. But if there's no marker, I will usually prioritize one of the spots further away from the boss, exactly because there's a lot of people that will just pick the one that is right next to the boss. And then you have, like, 14 players attacking one, and then, like, the remaining 10 are somewhat split between the remaining 2, and then you just hope that it's good enough. You know, it is funny because I believe the gold standard distribution in the West is even, like, it's even weirder because, well, actually, now that I think about it, does that mean that the B Alliance also helps with ads guzzle, or is it just no, that's the C's problem? Because that is kind of how it's usually described, is that A takes ads, B takes belly, and C takes chains, and often C is also considered to be the one that is supposed to main tank. Now, how often does that work out? Not very often, but hypothetically, it could work. And then you're sitting there like, so what does the rest of C do? Because you only need the tank to tank and 2 guys to take the chains. So the other one's just twiddling their thumbs while A does the ads? Yeah, the C is the one that kills the boss. Everyone else just hangs out and waits for them to do it. I know that's really, really weird. Because obviously they should help with ads. Obviously. It just occurred to me. That I could absolutely see someone interpret it like that. Anyway, let's see. I will be right back, and then we will probably regroup for normal raid re-clears. But in the meantime, I will be right back. And in the meantime also, sanity restored. And Alright, I'm back. That looked really weird, like out of the corner of my eye. Out of curiosity, who here... wait. Who here wants to come along for normal raid re-clears? Where did you go, Rost? You said you want to come along, but I can't see you. What? Oh, there you are. Assuming we're bringing everyone that is in the party right now, and Rust, then we still have space for one more, if there's one more that want to go. We need to bring Brontum as well, guys, and we need to ship him a ball. You're on NA, right, Brontum? Yeah. You just go through this time portal here. Just jump straight through it and come on over to EU. Just to do, yeah, just buy a character transfer, just to hang out on EU for re-clears with me, and then you have to figure out getting home after that. That sounds really expensive. Cat will join. Where is Cat? There is one space. Where's Le Cat? Yeah, with me! Caetsu Chaiji! What if Brontum comes with the forklift, though? Dun 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 dun. It's the forklift. There's a lot of wheels. Here it comes! An empty inventory. Well, usually my inventory is pretty clean, so that wouldn't stand out very much.
Will you cry out in pleasure or pain?
Hey, yo.
Feast your eyes on the lovely and lethal Vamp Fatale! Will the challenger fall prey to the cruel mistress?
Come, my pets.
Hey, Galaxy. Hope you're doing well.
This is my show. I will hear you scream.
A wicked weapon. Vamp Fatale's poised to execute a fatality.
A wicked weapon. Yeah.
You will become a stain on this ring.
The challenger has nowhere left to run!
Oh, whoops. Well.
Oh, that must have hurt. Hang in.
Ow. I goofed up my rotation. Now I had to just focus on not goofing it up anymore. Then I got hit by a mechanic instead.
Oh, not fast enough, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I was gonna. That was actually what I was thinking about Necrophits, is that on Savage, her like flittering around like that, she doesn't just go there and look at you getting like fighting the coffin maker. She's doing mechanics. It's like really weird.
This is just the beginning. My faithful minions, give me your ether!
It's begun! She's draining the audience of their ether.
All of you will feed me.
Vamp Fatale's unleashed the ether. The challenger's in her realm now.
Am I? That's a... It's not very different from the realm I was in before. Vamp Fatale's realm is her arena, but with like a few splats of AoEs on the ground. I don't mind Brontome. I was live, I was casting it. Like, I've seen it. But others might be a little disappointed if you just send it. So it might be better to not be too on the nose. Just in case someone is like, no, I didn't want to know. Which is also why I said during the coffin maker, she is doing mechanics. if you catch my drift.
You are a stubborn one, but it is not too late to beg for mercy.
The spectacle of slaughter resumes. How will the challenger adapt? It's a veritable...
I didn't even notice that they both were over there. And that is true. It's good to know before, both to ask in case it matters for yourself, but also in case someone else kind of needed to know that to know that information.
Such insolence I have never known. More. I need more ether.
What's the insolence here? What? You didn't have the decency to die? Come on. Why have you have to be like that? You just need to die. Such insolence! Uh-oh.
In pain lies pleasure.
She's unleashed even more ether! How will this end?
With more ether, I think. No! No! Not my ley lines! No! Why? Oh no. Oh no. My poor ley lines. Boink. Boink. Ow. Nice. Boop, boop.
It's all over. Until next time.
Steve says, when your son decides to have a clear out in his room and now your room looks like a nuke went off in there. Oh yeah, I'm just cleaning my room. Just puts everything outside of the. Imagine if that's how you cleaned out your house or your apartment. You just take everything and place it outside, just outside. Bronson does the grinder DPS check in the normal field tied to anyone else? It really depends on the group, of course, but I have heard some, like, more casual groups have trouble with it. I've heard wipes to it. On day one, the group, my group, wiped not to the coffin maker, but to the fatal flails afterwards, if I remember correctly.
This will be a tag team match of extreme proportions.
Bro.
I can handle you alone.
Bro.
Oh, my word, such scorn for the challenger.
Uh-oh. I have ley lines here. I call dibs. Uh-oh. I don't have ley lines here anymore anyway. Ow.
I ride the inferno.
Yeah, this works. This is fine. This is fine. I still have my ley lines. Yeah, everyone moved. They saw Black Mage with ley lines. Like, he's not moving, is he? No. I mean, sometimes it's pretty convenient because it gives you like, you know, at least that you shouldn't be staying. You already have like pre-designated who's not moving. I'll say, Hobo-san. Hope you're doing well.
Hey, save some fun for me.
Also save some fun for me. Oh.
Deep Blue's
Hello.
lost his cool. He's tagging in.
If there ain't a wave to ride, just make one yourself.
Good God.
I summon Umi as my field spell. Meep, meep. Meow.
Bet you've never seen anything this gnarly.
And they dance out of the way unharmed. Unbelievable.
Uh-oh. For some reason, I thought I had more time. I did not.
What a drag. Let's do this together.
Yeah, I'm usually also very respectful, Noodles. It's just sometimes if you have like everyone stacked on top of each other and then you all get spread markers. If I put down my ley line, I'm just saying,
It's only fair.
I feel like I have a little bit of dibs on that one, right? Just incidental dibs. But I definitely know that feeling. It's a public service. Yeah, it's just for the. It's best for everyone if someone take the lays claim to the safe spot. It's for the best. Hey, I managed to do it. I just barely caught him as he was jumping away. I was like, wait a minute. There's some cleave here. I smell cleave.
The brothers have triggered a fusion explosion. Truly, they're deadly wind beasts.
Deadly what? Hey, more cleave! More cleave! They're right there! Oh, whoops. No one saw that Astral Fire 1 Firefall. Oops.
I've been saving this trick just for you.
Oh, brace yourselves, folks. The extremes are holding nothing back.
The chaos! It looks like everyone lived. Nice. Ugh. Hey! Hey!
Bet you've never seen anything this gnarly.
Uh-oh. Evacuate!
Impressive footwork on display today.
Hey, Sally. Hope you're doing well.
I ride the inferno.
I'll be over here, away from those random steam explosions or whatever it is. Oh, you know what? I'll just stand still. That's going to be a little scary. It would have been better to have them closer, but that's just too far for these short lizard legs. Oh, well, I basically pre-chosen my spot.
If there ain't a wave to ride, just make one yourself.
Thanks. That was very well timed. That was exactly when I would have wanted to do something about that myself. I was just waiting.
What power? Looks like someone isn't holding back.
We did it!
It's all over. Until next time.
Mr. says, I do strongly dislike that the tethers here don't accommodate for who has main aggro on each brother, because I've been tethered to the completely wrong one despite having aggro on the other. Well, I'm pretty sure that the tethers are based on proximity, and he's just like, they're choosing a tank, 2 DPS, and a healer, so the only way that you get the wrong one is if the other tank is hanging out next to you on the, at the same time. I don't think I needed the rescue, but I was not sure whether I should try to surecast it or manip it or just start running, and I was just about to start running when you grabbed me, so I was like, well, I mean, now I don't have to do anything. And it happened in between GCDs, and it happened while I was doing instant, so it didn't cost me anything. I think it should work, Mistel, if you just like really hug the boss you want. And yet, it probably works to just, you know, tank switch if it happens.
At long last, the decisive match against the Grand Champion! Will the challenger triumph and seize the tyrant's throne?
I want it. I want the throne.
I shall take your measure.
It better be a rock. It's very sunny here.
Footwork.
Another attack evaded with aplomb. Once again, they slip beyond their opponent's reach.
How about this?
Indeed, how about this? Oh. Oh, this. Right. How about not this?
Behold, the essence of martial mastery.
I think yeah. We learned this in Endwalker Alliance raids. Just go to where the donut is. Nice.
Absolute brutality! The champion's power is unmatched.
There is much more to come.
Oh, the challengers holding their own.
It has been a long time since I've enjoyed myself so.
And then he does this swish swoosh of domination. Swish swoosh wash whoosh swish wash swish swoosh swish wash squash.
Oh, it's tyranny time, folks. He knows no mercy, and he's never tasted defeat.
No more holding back. Prepare yourself, unenhanced warrior.
Ah, a circle.
I beg your pardon? What is he going to do with all those weapons?
Another scythe.
Such ferocity! The champion is ruthless indeed!
I keep forgetting about my thunder. It's not good. It's not good.
The tyrant altered his form! He looks even more tyrannical than before!
Know the folly of challenging me unenhanced.
Meteor aim.
I will not yield my throne.
What a display of power! He's unleashed the full might of the behemoth!
Now fall.
Wink.
Oh, he's
We managed to make 2 light parties, guys.
Going to need urgent repairs.
Oh. Now you just need to rest Gazel over there. And then it'll be fine.
And they're back in action. Can they turn the tide?
Blech.
this!
Whee!
And now he's thrown the ring. What absurd strength!
Don't know if we can count it as a ring. Now he's thrown the square, maybe.
The ring shall presently be restored.
Oh.
There's a clash between feral prey
That's true,
and
Bobomet.
mortal resolve. Either side could come out on top.
That is true.
The power of feral souls makes the Arcadian what it is.
Thunder! Hey, that was actually really fast, I think.
It's all over. Until next time.
$8 minutes? Night God, do you mean P7N? I'm pretty sure that one auto-attacks quite frequently. The real scary part is being the one that is second in aggro as tanks, because the healers sometimes don't realize that that boss auto-attacks both tanks simultaneously. I love it too, Bobomet. I do believe that I was completely shocked when the boss grabbed half the arena when I saw it on day one.
The president must pay for his crimes. Give him what for, champion.
It'll be 350. Is it just me, or does he always do the right side with this move the first time? I don't think I've ever seen him do left.
The power of the mythical Lindward. His arm is slithering out. Oh, that's disgusting. Watch out! That is one cruel coil.
But it's only when he starts to do it double time that he does it different. That is pretty weird.
Another attack evaded with a bomb.
There it is again.
Once again, they slip beyond their opponent's reach. His arms are snaking round the ring.
Bring down the house! Bam!
Oh no! The gore has lashed onto the champion!
Oh no!
No panic!
Oh no! I love the way he says that. Oh no! Oh no! Anything with that? Whoops. It was lucky timing.
They've been struck with venom, but they can weather it. They must.
They must!
The battle is decided. Victory goes to the champion.
And then he didn't die after all.
Could the Lindworm's regeneration be out of control? The Lindworm's completely healed. What outrageous regenerative power! Is there no limit to his regenerative capacity?
Well, that was a cinematic ending. Oh. I spent my good rolls on gear, apparently. Everything burns! Yeah, that is true. That it kind of like gives itself away pretty hard. That if he was actually dead, then you know you would hit him with the last hit and it would fade to black. But because it doesn't, it's like, yeah, there's more. Although there's no other way they could have, like, I mean, technically they could have done it like they could have just had, like, if they had, like, one of the prior bosses, like, if they had either Wicked Thunder or Howling Blade on normal, like, you kill them and then they go off, and then, like, they fall to their knees, and then, like it doesn't fade to black, and then they're like, oh, you got me, and then it fades to black, then it would have been like, well, I mean, it could be that it just gives us a few seconds. But because there's no precedence for any boss fight where it doesn't fade to black immediately when you win. There isn't, like, there's no exception that would make Lindworm's fake out work. It would be pretty funny, Andrew. Imagine if it's fading to black, and then like it shows like the victory, like the cutscene like playing out, like, oh, you're winning and you're celebrating, and then it just like snaps immediately back to you having control as Medim's message that, oh, stuff is happening starts. It would, however, be very annoying because once you know the jig is up, it would just be annoying that it fades to black, fades in again, and then like, I wanted to paint stuff, or I wanted to use Umbral Soul, or whatever. But, you know, at the same time, tough. There was a cutscene in between. That's how this fight works. Also, as Kat says, they could have just made, like, a transition. Jose Nuclear, hope you're doing well. My sprint is still 10 seconds. He's not dead. Hey, wait a minute. Where's the coffers? But that was it's pretty funny. I think on only one of the bosses, the roll for the item I wanted was low. And then the Orchestrion roll on that one first. Bad roll on the paints, 92. Classic. Absolute classic. But we did it again. We managed to get through the dailies. And we managed to also do normal raid reclears. With all these gamers here. So we get to do it extra fast. Actually, pretty funny that I'm pretty sure that my slowest run of any of the bosses is not the run when we did it minimum item level. So this is a friend of mine did a victory leap right before he died the first time and only realized he actually died 2 seconds later. Yeah, that's why it might be dangerous to do the victory leap off the arena on a fight you don't know. You know, it could get awkward. Victory! But with that in mind, then, if you would like to be part of the Discord community server, there's a link right there in the chat. There you will also find the weekly schedule where you can see what else is coming up in the coming days. They're usually updated Sunday or Monday. You'll also find the announcement room with links to videos and streams and put them out. And if you grab the reminder roll, you'll get a notification whenever I post a video or stream. There's an extra one around 15 minutes before stream starts. You can catch it right when we go live. Remember, for those going, are you going to try Savage Tier this time around? Yes, on Saturday. On Saturday. On Saturday, I'll be tanking. We'll be doing Vam Fatale, and it'll be great. Probably. And if you'd like to support the channel even more directly, you can become a member, you can like, you can follow, you can sub, you can gift subs, you can gift memberships, you can super chat, you can cheer, you can do all that stuff. And if you don't like any of that, there's also a Ko-Fi link right there in the chat from Aradil. It all helps support me and the channel directly so I can focus on doing stuff like this with all of you. So thank you so much for the support. But that'll be it from me tonight. So good night, good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending where in the world, and hope to see you all very soon. And if you'd like to stick around for maybe raiding something over on Twitch, stick around. I'll be figuring out on the end slate. But with that said, bye-bye.